ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Om Om. We were discussing the 25th shloka. Shanai Shanai Ruparamed. In Nididhyasana, one has to withdraw the mind. Shanai Shanai. Because the inner, the mind has to be purified. The inner mind, in other words, the mind has got two aspects. One is an outer mind, another is inner mind. Outer mind simply means the functioning mind. The inner mind means the mind which is a, how to say that? It is a, I don't know how to say that. It is something inside, but it provokes, it causes this mind to assume the shape. Or in other words, it is a samskara. It is easy to say in Sanskrit. It is the samskara rupa, innondu bahya rupa. Udbuddha rupa and samskara rupa. Samskara rupa is a unconscious mind or a subconscious mind. So the samskaras, or we can say, it is in the form of three. Mind has a three forms. One is totally adrushta rupa. Adrushta rupa is punya papa. Adrushta rupa is punya papa. Another is samskara rupa. Third is its functional state. Idu vyakta rupa. Vyakta rupa, samskara rupa, punya papa rupa. So this vyakta mind is controlled by its inner samskaras. So that inner samskaras have to be cleared. Clearing means what? From the samskara, that's why we call it kashaya. In Sanskrit they call it kashaya. Kashaya pakwa agabeku. Kashaya should become pakwa. Kashaya means inner samskaras. Inner samskara should become ripen. Ripening means those samskaras should come into the mind, they get sublimated. Ripening means sublimation alone. Sublimation means they get burnt away. So the samskaras, somewhere the attachment, somewhere the liking, somewhere the memory of something remains. That has to be brought into the conscious mind, and against the background of Sakshi. Against the background of Sakshi, this mind which rises as a result of its past samskara, the mind which rises being prompted by the samskara, the mind which rises in the mind has to be purified and it has to be merged into Chaitanyam. The mind or the various thoughts have to be merged. Merged means they have to be burnt or merged, or they have to be eliminated, whatever you say. We have to discover the mind as inseparable from the very consciousness. Like the waves are not separable from the water. Similarly, all the thoughts are inseparable from the Sakshi, from the consciousness. So for this, the thoughts have got their own reality. The thoughts become real only when you identify with them. See, the reality exists only with their identification. Identification, when I identify with a thought, the thought becomes real. The thought may be an object or maybe an experience. The thought may be either an object or an experience. Either an object or an experience, both of them look real. As an object, see, as an object it looks as if it exists other than me. It exists parallel to me. in addition to me. World, if you feel world exists as a something other than me in additional to me, that means I have divided. I have divided the world. I have divided myself, me and the world, me and an object. When I divide the world into two, a subject and an object, the object gets a reality. Object becomes real as myself. That means it is parallel to me, equal to me, so similar to me of my level. So this, then I come to have an experience of divisiveness. Subject and object, two things I experience. Now in Nididhyasana, what we do, the secondness you remove and my individuality goes away and the secondness of the object goes away. Both these thoughts are subject objective. The divisive thought is nothing but a false thought about the same consciousness. The same consciousness appears as divided. So this divisiveness has to be merged, has to be removed and discovered as originally one consciousness, one indivisible. Second thing, that when you see subject-object duality, in these things, one more thing happens, I start enjoying the pleasures. Because the world is meant for only some kind of happiness alone. I keep deriving pleasure in relationship with something. See, it is a relationship. I stand related with objects, things, whether it could be imaginary objects or past object, present object or future object. See, the objects could be past, present or future. So it could be past events I keep on recollecting and start enjoying or suffering both. I may recall my past memories of both pleasurable experience and unpleasant experience, both pleasant and unpleasant experiences. Presently, I am directly in touch with. Present means what? What is in the present, with which I am in directly contact. The objects and the people with whom I am directly in contact with now, with my sense organs and my mamakara. With my sense organs as well as mamakara, I am directly attached or related to the people and the things and all, and so on. So in the present time, I am connected to them. By this connection, I seem to derive some pleasure or some pleasant, some unpleasant experience. Then regarding the past, I have told you just now. The past experiences of pain and pleasure, pleasant and unpleasant experiences, I recall, I feel related to them. Not only I recall, I feel related to them, that I have undergone so and so experiences. Those experiences are there, past experiences, present experiences and future. Future means you imagine, the wildly imagined experiences. By imagining things and people and objects and experiences, even in imagination you derive pleasures. This is called wild imagination. In imagination we derive pleasures. Okay, pleasure, or if you are worried, if you fear something, there is an unpleasant experience. If you hope for something, there is a pleasant experience. So you hope for something, you imagine something, that gives you a pleasant experience. If you are afraid, if you worry that something might happen, then that gives you unpleasant experience. These are imagined experiences regarding future. Okay, so past experiences, present experiences and future experiences. These three kinds of pleasant, unpleasant experiences, these experiences have to be dissolved. That means I have to transcend these pleasures. All these pleasures come only in mind, not in the Atma. Or the very Atma is wrongly taken as these external experiences. External experiences are adhyasa. It's like waves arising in water. Waves are nothing but water, but by mistake, by wrongly taken as waves. Taking means we divide them, see them in a smaller area. See, when you see the water as a whole, you don't find a division. Instead of looking at the water as a whole, we see them piece by piece. We divide them. This is seeing in a divided way, seeing in a piece by piece, looks as wave. Wave is only a narrow outlook, water is a complete outlook. When you look at, when you look at comprehensively, it looks as a water. When you look at a limited way, it looks as waves. Waves are only one aspect of water, a limited portion of water, isn't it? A limited aspect of water is called wave. So wave itself is not an existent thing. It is my way of looking at water. In my way of looking, I don't take the water as a whole, I take only a part of it, a small aspect of it. This vision of a limited vision, a small aspect vision of small aspect makes me see it as water, makes me see it as wave. Similarly, the pure consciousness is Purna Ananda Swarupa. It is full and complete. But the full and complete, when I take my nature means Atma, which is Brahman. Atma, which is Brahman, which is infinite, complete and whole. And that Atma I miss. I miss the whole Atma, start seeing the Atma part by part. Okay? Instead of seeing the holistic Atma, comprehensive Atma, which is infinite and Brahman, I start seeing part by part. I start identifying with a part by part. This part by part identification generates into various experiences of pain and pleasure, pleasant and unpleasant. So this pleasant and unpleasant experiences, in fact, all these experiences put together become one infinite experience, that is Brahman. Infinite is not an experience, because experience involves two things. We don't call Brahma as an experience because experience involves two things, subject and object, experiencer and experienced. It is a connection, it is a relationship, it is a tentative state. See the difference? Experience is a connection. It is a born of a relationship. It is born of a relationship and it is a state of mind, it is a tentative state, because the state did not exist before and later it arises. This kind of state is called an experience. Brahman we don't call experience. Paramatma Tattvam we don't call experience, because it is not a state. It is not a relationship with you. So you are not getting into Brahman experience. Just a minute. You are not getting into a relationship with Brahman, because Brahman is not something other than you. Brahman is not something separate with which you can get related. Okay? Brahman is neither a object nor a relation, nor it is a state. Brahman is neither an object nor it is a state. It is yourself, non-dual yourself, indivisible yourself, infinite yourself. So when I miss my infinity, I become divisive. I become divided into experiencer and experienced. This experiencer experienced, this is a continuously a relative state. It is a state of relation. See, experiencer experienced, you don't find these two. You only find a relativeness. You don't find a continuous relationship. Okay, this relationship of a fluctuating relationship. So the pleasant and unpleasant experiences. So experience a newly arises. In the continuous fluctuation, it is one of the fluctuation, one of the state of a fluctuation. In a continuous state of fluctuation, a tentative state is called a pleasant state. Therefore, all our experiences of happiness, pleasure, pleasantness, all these are a tentative states in our series of fluctuation. In our continuous series of fluctuation, a tentative state is called our pleasant state. Okay, so you have to, but these pleasant states are okay. The problem is these states of experiences arise due to several factors. One is it depends upon the external object. Second is due to your samskara, your inner samskara, inner punya papa, and also the external world. So in this relationship, these experiences rise as a tentative state, but dissolves. Dissolves in the sense that experience gets modified into another state. Dissolves in the sense that experiences rises as a state and modifies into another state, again modifies into another state, again modifies into another state. It is a continuous modification of states. Okay, so these states come in the form of pleasant experiences, and these pleasant experiences do not have the same intensity all the time. Therefore, sometimes a little higher intensity, sometimes lesser intensity. That's why we call it fluctuation. We call these pleasant experiences as series of fluctuations because the intensity is not uniform. The intensity of pleasure is sometimes more, sometimes less. Then on what does the intensity depend? Not defend, sorry, depend. P. On what does this intensity of pleasant experience depend? On what does this intensity depend? See, we get experiences which are sometimes little intense experiences, little lesser intensity. Experience of lesser intensity. So the experiences are more intense, some less intense. Now, what is this more intense and less intense? On what does this intensity of our pleasant experience depend? Okay, this intensity depends upon how much you get absorbed your duality. Duality means as an experiencer and experienced. How much the experiencer merges into the experience. Experiencer merging into experience. See, experiencer merging into experience. That means experiencer is forgetting himself, is dissolving himself into the experience. Experiencer is merging himself, dissolving himself into the experience. That means the divisiveness, the relativeness of experiencer and experier becomes less and less. The relativeness in the relationship of experiencer and experience, the relativeness, the difference becomes less and less. When the difference, the divisiveness is less and less, you become absorbed in it, more and more absorbed. The intensity of pleasantness is high. The intensity of happiness, the blissful experience, the intensity of bliss is high. Okay, if that absorption is less, that individuality or the experiencer gets absorbed in the experience. If the absorption is less, then the intensity of happiness is less. If the absorption is more, the intensity of happiness is more. That means our happiness keeps fluctuating. The intensity of happiness keeps fluctuating. That means the experiencer merges in the experience, sometimes a little more, sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending upon how much you merge into it. This merging requires again, the merging, if your attachment is more with something, if your attachments are many, I think this is better. If your attachment with various things are many, absorbing into one becomes difficult because you have an attachment with other. That means if I have got attachment with money, attachment with property, attachment with my name, language, attachment with my place, attachment with my family, so if my attachment is with many people and many objects, that means my mind is divided into many things. Then I have got a multiple samskaras. Okay, I have samskaras with many things. When I have samskaras with many things, mind's fluctuation is more, because mind keeps on moving within these samskaras. If I have got samskara with 5 objects, my movement will be within the 5. If my attachment with 4 is less, only 1 object I have attachment, then my absorption in 1 is easy, fluctuation will be less. Okay, therefore, if your attachment with many things becomes less, all attachment becomes with only 1 object. How is it possible that you can have attachment with 1? Here 1 is 2 ways again. Some people are attached with many things. Some people attached with 1 thing. But this one can be understood in 2 ways. Okay. One is when instead of getting attached with many things, with 1 person, 1 object alone, you become attached. This 1 object to the exclusion of all others. To the exclusion of all others, you get attached, you get identified with 1 object alone by excluding all others. You become highly fanatic. Okay? You become fanatic. That fanatic person will have a problems. Why? If you get attached to 1 person, identify with 1 person or 1 object, but you have to interact with other people, because the life means many situations, many objects, many people, many things keep coming. You can't be all the time with 1 person or 1 object alone. But when you have to interact with other objects, you have to leave that person, leave that object and go to another person or another object. Then what happens? You feel disturbed. You feel that you are missing. You feel that you are separated from the person whom you love, whom you identify with, either person or an object. If you identify with 1 person or 1 object, you feel that you are forcibly separated from that person, or you are thrown with another person. You are thrown closer to another object or another person whom you are not so much fond of. That means you are missing your own person. Person means identification. With whom you are identified, that identification is broken. You are forcibly separated and you are supposed to interact with many other objects, many other people, many other things. This disturbs you, highly disturbs you. Therefore, getting attached, getting identified with 1 person or 1 object or 1 language or 1 area or 1 thing, it may look easy for you because you will remain continuously in 1 person, but you can't avoid interacting with other people. World means change. World means change. Understand, the very nature of the world is continuously changing, fluctuating, because change means time. Time is inseparable from the world. Time is a necessary factor in the world. Without time, there is no world. Time, space and objects. These 3 are not 3. Note, they are not 3 objects. 3 aspects of 1. See, time, space, object. They are not 3 things. Note it. They are not 3. We have discussed, I think, should I discuss again? I think I will be diverting unnecessarily. So they are not 3. They are only 3 aspects of 1 experience. Watch, you watch. They are 3 aspects of 1 experience. They are not 3. They are not 3 entities. They are not 3 objects. 3 aspects of 1 experience. 3 aspects of 1. So, time means continuously changing. Your relationship with things and people keeps fluctuating, keeps changing. Your relationship with things keep changing. And that is world. Without change, there is no world. Only in deep sleep, you have no relationship. In deep sleep alone, there is no time. In all waking and dream, there is a time. Time means continuous change. Change means your relationships keep on changing. When the relationships keep on changing, how can you become attached with one person, one object, one entity, one thing, and remain happy? You can't be. You will be continuously separated. That's why people say that, oh, how cruel is God, how cruel is fate. No, God we don't call. That is only Islam and Christianity. Hinduism doesn't call God is separating. We call Daivam is separating. Daivam means luck. Luck means fortune. That is our prarabdha, our karma. Our karma is very cruel. Our Daivam, our Brahmadeva we call, who writes our fate on our forehead. Your Hane Baraha in Kannada they call it. So in Hane Baraha, that means writing on your forehead. Hane Baraha, writing on your forehead. So that Hane Baraha separates you from people and puts you with somebody else. This logic we don't understand. Why we are separated from the people and things whom we love most, we are comfortable with, and put with others which is very uncomfortable. Understand? Okay, you may explain as a karma. Okay, that is one level of experience. But when you do tattva vichara, when you are inquiring into the truth of the world, that means the very nature of the world, the truth, inquiring into the truth, that is because there is a time. Time means change. Change means a continuous flow. Subject, object, they are not two. They are continuously related. This continuous relationship is a fluctuating relationship. It is a flow. It is a series. It is a continuous flow like water. Water is flowing. Flowing means what? It is changing places. One place to another place. One point of space to another point of space. It is continuously changing. Okay, it is moving on. So therefore, life means continuously on, moving on and on. You can't be all the time with one person, one object and one thing. That is a big problem. Isn't it? Therefore, if you are attached to one thing, if you identify with one person, it looks nice for you. Why? Because that identification or attachment gives you greater absorption. When you identify with it, your individuality as an experiencer, you merge into that experience. You forget yourself in it. More you forget yourself, more you absorb yourself, more you feel relaxed and joy. More joyous you feel, but the problem is that absorption, you can't be all the time in it because you are separated with and get related with something else. Okay? Shall I tell you? It's a much subtler. I don't know, people will understand. There are two kinds of absorption. No, I already told two. That another one still I kept it. I'll tell you later. Already I told two. But within this again there is a two ways of. Experiencer absorbing into experience. Experiencer and experience. So, experiencer getting absorbed into experience, or the experience is absorbing into, merging into the experiencer. Do you see the difference, or am I repeating it? Experiencer subject. Experience is one thing. So, other experience means an object of experience, let us take it. So, your mind sometimes merges in the experience, experiencer is forgotten. If experiencer is forgotten, the happiness is better. But sometimes the experience merges into the experiencer, pain is more. Because you feel some kind of a depressive thing, because that becomes a shallow. Anyway, this subtle point I leave it, sometime else we discuss. Now, so only we discuss only this much. One is you get absorbed into one experience, one object, one person or one object. But life is a continuous change. You can't remain all the time with one object or one experience. Others come, you get disturbed. So to avoid this thing, there is an Upasana Kanda. What does it teach? It says is, first you come to see, don't see the many objects. Come to see the commonness in the many objects and many people. Do you understand this thing? There is a broader principle, commonness in many people, many objects, many things. See, that is a vyapaka. See is a vishala. That is a vyapaka. That is a broader thing. So if you absorb in a broader thing, many things are merging into that broader thing, broader principle. That's why we say Ishvara, we call it. What is Ishvara? What is Devata? Devata is not a one single factor. He includes many things. He is a more vyapaka. He is a pervasive thing. Ishvara is a Saguna Brahma is a pervasive thing. Therefore, we say qualitative love. Instead of a person's love, we call it qualitative love. Qualitative means what? Instead of loving a person, love the qualities of a person rather than the person. The quality means more, it is a broader one. It encompasses many things, many objects, many people. Take for example beauty. If you like one flower alone, if you see the beauty in one flower, when you change the flower, you lose it. But instead of that, see the beauty as a quality among the many flowers. So among the many flowers, beauty is one. Then you are seeing a common underlying many things. When you are seeing a quality which is a common to many things, when you keep on changing the flowers, you don't miss the beauty. Because the same beauty with a little fluctuation is, even when you are moving from flower to flower, your beauty continues. Okay? You don't miss the beauty. Suppose if you confine the beauty to one flower, then you change the flower, you miss it. Similarly, your love, your relationship should not be with a person, but with a common principle, underlying common. That's why we say love everybody. That means what? Love as a quality, not as a person. That means you are going to the common principle which is covering up, which is covering many people, which is including many people. When it is including many people, you are seeing a quality. So when you keep on shifting people, you don't miss the quality. Because quality is covering up many people, underlying many people, many objects, many experiences. Therefore, come to a common principle which covers many things, underlies many things. So when you change things, the commonness continues. Therefore, go to that principle of beauty, the common thing, common love, common relationship, so that encompasses many people. Therefore, things change, you won't miss much. You will become a little more relaxed. That's why upasana. So the worldly pleasures depend upon one person, one object, one thing. But upasana means a person who becomes a little more sattvic. Person becomes a little more sattvic. That's what we call upasana. That's what we call culture, values. A more cultured person, more values. That's why we say art, music, beauty, poetry. Why do we learn? Because they talk of values. They talk, what is value? They talk of a common principle. In upasana, what do you see? Try to see the commonness, not the individuals. Many individuals are included in that common quality. Quality is not a person. Quality inheres in the many people, many objects. Many objects are included in one quality. Quality is a deeper and broader. Okay? Beauty is deeper and broader. It is an abstract. Flower is a concrete. Beauty is an abstract. Love is abstract. Person is individual. Person is too concrete, but love is abstract. Abstract means it is a quality, covers many people, encompasses many people. It is broader. So for that, you have to transcend individual person and come to a broader principle called love. Okay. So instead of getting attached, getting attachment, identifying with one person. That's why when people fall in love and marry and all that individuality, you have to transcend the individuality and go to the quality. Quality is an abstract. It is a feeling. It is at the level of mind. It requires sattvikata. It requires dharma. it requires little sacrifice, it requires a purification of the mind. When you start feeling the quality level, then you transcend the person. Person's limitations, person's weaknesses you can ignore, you can forget. Your love becomes really deeper, you don't miss much, and you become more relaxed person. Therefore, we say the relation should not be through person, it should be dharma, it should be quality, it should be deeper, it should be abstract. Therefore, the relation between any two lovers, any loving relationship should become a little upasana, should not become simply worldly relationship. First, it should involve dharma. The relationship between two people, first it should involve dharma. Second step, it should become an upasana. Okay? First it should, that's why all our traditional marriage means it includes dharma. Then later stage it becomes an upasana. When it becomes an upasana, it is becoming a qualitative love, not a person-centered love. Then it sustains. Then you become a deeper person, more qualitatively mature person. Otherwise, you see the modern days, every few days divorce, keep on changing people, because you are taking only person. They say love, deep love means what? Only excessively attached to one person, they call it love. All these idiotic films show the same thing, because they themselves are pervert fellows, mental cases. All these films, producers are mental cases, I am sorry to say. I don't know, I'm too harsh in these things, I'm sorry, forgive me, but the way you see them, because they are too much person-centered. They think identifying with a one person and excluding all others, they call it as a deeper love. It is not deeper love, it is an exclusive love. Exclusive love is a narrow love. Narrow love, within few days, wait for few days, it will end in divorce. Any person-centered, where there is no dharma, no upasana. Where upasana dharma means it becomes a deeper quality level, it transcends the person and goes to the quality. If it doesn't go to the quality, remains at the person level, then what happens? It becomes too narrow, and then it will not last long. The other thing changes, it breaks very fast. Therefore, it should become upasana. In upasana, you see them the Ishvara, the broader element, the deeper element. So when you go to the quality, many things are included in one. So because a quality, a abstract one includes many concrete one. Concrete are many, abstract is a broad one, all inclusive one is a one. In that one, all the many things are included in one. So it is a lasting one. It is more absorbing you, and you can see less of fluctuation in your joy, in your happiness. Okay, less of fluctuations in your happiness. So therefore, it is a more lasting one. It lasts longer time. This is what the crux of life. The life has to become deeper. Deep means only it should be associated, any relationship should be governed by dharma, then it should become upasana. First dharma, then it should become upasana. Upasana requires shastra, shraddha, bhakti, little cultivation of mind, and learning of sattvika bhavana, all that it requires. Otherwise, simple individual relationship, anything, these people are making too superficial, childish one. All these films are becoming childish only. And the cry, the quarrel, see, they talk of more love, all are love marriages, all love marriages are becoming all pain marriages, not love. All love marriages are becoming deeply hurt marriages, is it a love marriage or hurt marriage, tell me? It is a hurt marriage, break marriage and pain marriage. Hurt, break and pain. Okay, or hurt, pain and break, whatever may. It is, instead of love is an abusive word, highly abused word, because why abused? They just don't know what is love. It is only what the films talk of, people think that is a tentative superficial attraction they are taking. So that is utter foolishness anyway. So when there is no culture, when there is no dharma, when there is no upasana, what else you expect? You expect only this the superficial things. Okay, so it requires a sattvikata. It requires to transcend an individual object. It has to transcend from sense organ level. It has to come to mind level. Then mind has to rise to a samashti level. Samashti mind, that is upasana level, then devata level. Okay, upasana level or devata level, then it becomes a purer level. Okay, then when you see the whole world into one Vishwarupa Devata, then you get a one common experience of joy and love towards the entire world. Towards the entire world, you have got a one uniform relationship. You don't see the world as a divided. You see the all worldly people, worldly objects merging into one Vishwarupa. Okay, all the world merges into one Vishwarupa. Okay, even in that one Vishwarupa, I think, should I conclude? People don't seem to like what I talk. Okay, when I address some people, they disappear. It's very difficult. I should speak to myself, I think. Anyway, I'll just conclude in 2 minutes. So when there is a Vishwarupa relationship, my fluctuation will be less and relation is continuous. But still there is a little bit of fluctuation. Even to that you have to transcend. All fluctuation go away. You remain one with yourself, that is Kutastha Atma. In Kutastha Atma, because even that uniform relationship with a little fluctuation is again a mind. Even that mind has to be seen as a wave of Sakshi only. Your Atma is Brahmananda. Your own Atma is fluctuating little bit, that is Vishwarupa Upasana. In Vishwarupa Upasana, Saguna Upasana, your own Atma is little bit fluctuating. So even that little fluctuation goes away when you understand even that mind is inseparable from the Sakshi. You are one, because the mind itself is a false entity, is a wrong appearance of the Sakshi alone. Sakshi is Swatasiddha, self-existing Atma. Okay, in that thing, therefore, Shanai Ruparamet, gradually try to see all the various experiences, and the experiences are inseparable from the consciousness alone. More and more you see them, more and more the experiences rising will go away, rising will disappear. They all merge into the one consciousness alone. Therefore, Shanai Ruparamet Buddhyadriti Grihitaya Atma Samstam Manakritva. See it as one with consciousness. Nakinchid apachintayat. Now later you think of neither subject nor object, neither individual nor the world. Nakinchid apichintayet means see them as nothing separate from you. There is nothing separate from that infinite consciousness. Okay, I think today we will conclude this 25th shloka. We will proceed with the 26th shloka in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.